A reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah. On that day they will sing this song in the land of Judah. A strong city have we. He sets up walls and ramparts to protect us. Open up the gates to let in a nation that is just, one that keeps faith. A nation of firm purpose you keep in peace, for its trust in you. Trust in the Lord forever, for the Lord is an eternal rock. He humbles those in high places, and the lofty city he brings down. He tumbles it to the ground, levels it with the dust. It is trampled underfoot by the needy, by the footsteps of the poor. The word of the Lord.
The responsorial psalm. The response is, Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in man. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in princes. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Open to me the gates of justice. I will enter them and give thanks to the Lord. This gate is the Lord's, the just shall enter it. I will give thanks to you, for you have answered me and have been my Savior. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus said to his disciples, Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father in heaven. Everyone who listens to these words of mine and acts on them will be like a wise man who built his house on rock. The rain fell, the floods came, and the winds blew and buffeted the house. But it did not collapse. It had been set solidly on rock. And everyone who listens to these words of mine but does not act on them will be like a fool who built his house on sand. The rain fell, the floods came, and the winds blew and buffeted the house, and it collapsed and was completely ruined. The Gospel of the Lord.
The first reading comes from Isaiah 26, 1-6. In this passage we hear about the restoration of Judah. Now Judah is the land where Jerusalem is, and God will set up a strong city. He'll guard it, he'll protect it. But the gates will be open for an upright nation. In a number of the Psalms we hear things like, who can enter the holy city, who can follow the Lord, the person who's upright. So God restores the people, but the restoration is not simply material, it's also spiritual. They have to rely upon the Lord as their rock. He will bring down the arrogant, the mighty. He will raise up the lowly. But we have to recognize our lowliness and turn to the Lord. And that's a very good thing to do during Advent, to honestly look at our lives and see how we are responding to God's call and how we're not. What's still lacking, so that we can address that during this penitential season. The Gospel is from Matthew 7:21 and 24-27. Jesus speaks about two types of people. Those who have listened to his words and have followed them, they're like those who build their house upon rock, so when the storm comes, it won't be disturbed. And those who don't listen to him, who don't make their words part of their lives, they're like those who build their house upon sand. When the storm comes, it's washed away. And what does it mean to build upon rock? It means that we make Christ a part of our everyday life. We don't just call upon him when it's convenient, when we need something, but rather we learn to trust in him no matter what comes our way. Many people speak about how their faith is shaken when things don't turn out the way that they wanted them. Jesus never promised us that life would be Disneyland. In fact, he promised us a cross, but he also promised us that he would always be there with us when we have to carry that cross. And may God bless us.